there are those like Clement of Alexandria, good old brother, who says all truth is God's truth.
Yeah.
Right.
So as long as something's good, right, true, and beautiful, yep, we want to endorse this. We want to learn from those that are championing these positions, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But you also find some that kind of go into almost at times like a Tertullian view. Like, no. Anything that's not immediately in the scriptures, we're going to hold at bay.
Right.
And we're going to be suspicious of. And so I want to know, you see these two poles of a continuum coming up in church history over and over and over again. And I see this playing out, frankly, in some of the CRT discussions. And it reminds me of how important it is for somebody like me to learn from the saints that have gone before. So one of the reasons I did a dissertation on Thomas Aquinas is I wanted to make an extended stay with a brother who tried to do justice to a whole range of voices when, frankly, what he inherits is a cacophony. So he's like, okay, how do I learn from Plato? How do I learn from Aristotle? How do I learn from Augustine? How do I learn from Seneca? How do I learn from Cicero? He wants to do justice to all of his neighbors.
Yeah.
And he ends up saying, okay, here are some things we can accept from Aristotle. But for example, when Aristotle says creation's eternal, Aquinas is like, no, ex nihilo, he's wrong there. But Aquinas says he's got some great things to say about virtues and vices.
Right.
It's that kind of nuanced engagement with what we can call bodies of knowledge or different disciplines that you're going to find me operating with. I think sometimes the reason I'm so at home in that mode is because my life required it. When you come from these multi-racialized families, and especially when you have to do a lot of the, as it were, the grunt work of trying to figure out the craziness, there's a lot of patience that you develop.
Yeah, bro.
Right.
And what you become so interested in is understanding. You want to understand how it is that Mama sees what she sees. How does Abuela see what she sees? What were their life stories? What are the sufferings that they've had? How do you enter into those sufferings? What are the joys that you should be celebrating with them? Right. Always those two. So now when I turn to somebody, let's say a CRT scholar like Richard Delgado or Kimberly Crenshaw or Derek Bell, I'm saying, okay, I want to understand you. I want to understand your positions. I want to learn from you. I want to see what's good, right, true, and beautiful in what you have to say that I might not have seen otherwise. So I come with expectations.
Right.
And again, this is in part because I had to growing up. Yeah, there are nasty things to see in Mama. There were nasty forms, for example, of racist colorism in Abuela. Because white supremacy is not just one form. You don't just get Anglo white supremacy. You have modes of what I like to call Iberian white supremacy. So coming from places like Spain and Portugal, which is one of the reasons why when I told Abuela that I was black, she was like, ¿Cómo?
You said, what?
I don't think so. Like, no. That's not what we've been working towards down here. It's like what we've been working towards.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my. Right.
Yeah.
So they're nasty things to resist and remediate, but also beautiful things.
Right.
Things to understand, things to cultivate, things to cherish, and, if I may, things that I believe the Spirit of God has been at work in producing for a long time. So I want to make sure that I'm staying in step with the Spirit as the Spirit is moving, and I'm trying to understand these realities through a biblically informed perspective. I'm going to see some things well. I'm not going to see other things all that well, which means I need the whole church to help me to see better.
Amen.
Right.